Welcome back to The Wandering Screen. I'm Matt Koss, and today I'm looking at the action comedy Novocaine, coming to theatres on March 14th, so let's get into it. Get ready for a wild ride with Novocaine, the latest action thriller from directors Dan Burke and Robert Olson. It's a blood-spattering, nerve-shaking good time that will leave you both cringing and cheering in equal measure. Nathan Kane, the boy's Jack Quaid, presents as a sheltered young man. He listens to a podcast about overcoming disabilities, has tennis balls covering sharp edges around his apartment, and is an assistant manager at a bank in San Diego who cares deeply about his clients. But Nate has a genetic disorder that affects his nervous system and means that he can't feel pain. So much so that he's not very social, doesn't use the apps, and can't even eat solid foods. His careful, predictable life is interrupted when Sherry, Amber Midthunder, a co-worker at the bank for the last 4 months, asks Nate out to lunch. After vibing in a diner and bonding that evening at a bar over shared trauma, their connection is electrified. The next day, Nate shows up at work on cloud 9, only for a gang of armed men dressed as Santa Claus to burst into the bank, start shooting barriers to demands, and eventually gain access to the bank vault. As sirens wail, the crooks take Sherry hostage and flee, leaving Nate with a newfound mission: to save the girl of his dreams, even if it costs him everything. At its core, Novocaine is about Nate's belief that Sherry could be the one, the love of his life. Nate's inspired by his elderly client whose wife recently passed away, and he explains that losing her would hurt just as bad as if he lost her on the day that they met. She brought the sunshine to his life. Those words resonate so deeply with Nate, and the possibility that he too could have that connection with someone. The chemistry between Midthunder and Quaid is essential, and they make us believe that this shy, pain-free man would go to extreme lengths to save someone he barely knows, because the connection they share feels so raw and real. And it works. The script by Lars Jacobson establishes their connection, their vibe, and this potential of two souls with scars within and on the outside their bodies, finding comfort in each other. Nate's sheltered, danger-free existence, shaped by years of medical challenges and overbearing parental protection, makes his sudden quest for heroism all the more compelling. He's a man who can't even eat a slice of pie, but when Sherry is taken, he finds a new strength within himself, and this shift is what propels Nate from an awkward, bumbling gamer to an action hero, willing to dive into any danger head first. It's like permission to be brave, finally, even if it means sticking his hand in a fryer full of scorching hot oil. That's right, and that's just the start. This is a body horror film. There is so much harm done to Nate's body and so many gruesome things that I won't share here and spoil the element of surprise that directors Dan Burke and Robert Olson are clearly having so much fun with the script. This is a body horror flick at its finest. From burns to cuts to impalements, Nate endures it all, and the film never lets you forget it. What makes it so endearing is that Nate is a guy that has to set an alarm on his watch for every 3 hours so he remembers to pee, lest his bladder explodes. His condition, which once isolated him from the world, is suddenly his greatest weapon, allowing him to shrug off injuries that would put most people out of commission. One of the most fun aspects of Novocaine is its sound design. The fight sequences are a symphony of squishy, crunchy, and gut-wrenching noises that make every injury feel personal. When Nate digs his fist into shards of broken glass during a fight, you can practically feel the pain in your own bones. It's a perfect fit for a film that thrives on pushing the limits of gross-out humor while keeping the thrills coming. And guess what? Novocaine is a Christmas movie. Much like Die Hard, this action-packed romp takes place during the holiday season in California. Sure, the setting is San Diego, where the sun is blazing and the snow is nowhere in sight, but the Christmas vibe is undeniable because we are reminded of it over and over again. There's also one turtleneck. Think of it as a holiday movie for those who prefer a little more blood. You might not want to watch it with the kids, but it certainly deserves a spot on your holiday watch list right next to A Christmas Story and It's a Wonderful Life. Jack Quaid is fantastic in this role. His facial expressions tell you everything you need to know about Nate's thought process, his hesitation, his terror, and his surprising moments of determination. Whether he's trying to survive a fight with a very large knife-wielding Kiwi man in a tattoo parlor or getting impaled by a sudden arrow in a booby-trapped house, Quaid's performance keeps you hooked, rooting for him even as his body takes a brutal beating. Amber Midthunder is perfectly cast as Sherry, exuding both charisma and vulnerability, while Jacob Batalon is great as Nate's best friend he's never actually met in person. And then there's Ray Nicholson, Jack Nicholson's grandson, who channels his inner psychopath as the leader of the Santa Claus gang. At the end of the day, Novocaine is a true throwback to classic action films. High stakes, plenty of hand-to-hand combat, crazy car chases, and a finale that will test your gag reflex. It's one of those movies that works best in a packed theater where the audience's groans and laughs add to the madness. If you're looking for a film that will entertain, gross you out, and keep you on the edge of your seat, Novocaine delivers in spades. Just be prepared to cover your eyes at some of the more brutal moments, but trust me, you won't want to miss a second of this gruesome, hilarious thrill ride. You've made it to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the Wandering Screen YouTube channel for all the latest reviews and to give this video a like. What are the action comedies you've liked in the last few years? Let me know in the comment section below and see you next time.